Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler, and I am live in San Francisco, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. Greetings. It is late here in San Francisco right now. Normally, I would just probably record a short video, but I was feeling kind of lazy. So I'm just going to do it live. And plus, I'm here with some friends. So it's always nice to be here with some friends. And I am reviewing the film Aquaman, which will be spoiler free. By the way, there will be no plot spoilers in this whatsoever. Now, spoilers is a subjective term. I could be spoiling it by saying that Jason Aquaman gets mad at a character in some scene. I don't mean to do that, but hopefully, there will be no plot spoilers. This will just be my overall thoughts of the film, the good, the bad, what my kid thought about it, what Mrs. Nerdrotic thought about it, and then off to bed we go. So, man, Filthy Farmers, 2:45 a.m. for you, Silhouette and Animator, CD Horde, and Alexander, thank you for stopping by, and Mark, and thank you for stopping by and keep me company here. Okay, so Garrett, my beard versus Momoa's beard. Oh, my beard's better because I'm older than him, though. See, that's the thing. But he is much more handsome than I am and bigger. He's a big boy. Yeah, he looks like a superhero. So let's get into it. Aquaman, a movie, one of the most made fun of comic book characters in the history of pop culture. Actually had an HBO series that centered around making a movie for Aquaman, and it was one big joke. He talks to fishes. He's got a cute. This is my vintage Aquaman action figure that I have. That's usually hanging back on the wall. You see a blank space because I decided to bring him down here for his movie. DC has had a hard time, folks. DC's had a hard time getting some movies out. They really don't know the tone of their own films, and I am very happy to report that DC got a good movie. I am shocked. I am utterly shocked that I loved Aquaman. I loved it. Now, before we get too excited, it's not going to win any Academy Awards at all. It's a hyperkinetic film. I heard some people comparing it to Guardians. Not quite that good. No. Let's not go crazy here. Guardians is the top two, one of the top two Marvel films. Guardians of the Galaxy to me was closer to Star Wars than anything Star Wars we've gotten. But what Aquaman did right was it was a comic book movie, straight up in tone, in plot. Everything was pure comic book. And what it did the best was it lightened up the DC universe, and it showed you for the first time, folks who have never read a DC comic in their life, what the DC universe is and why it is so different from the Marvel universe. The Marvel universe is the world outside your window, and the DC universe, to me anyway, the one I've read for 40 plus years, is a fantasy world. It's a different world. It's an alien world. It's an alternate reality where anything can happen. It's hard for me to buy Wakanda in the Marvel universe because the Marvel universe is pretty grounded when you're talking about Earth-based stuff. I can buy Atlantis in the DC universe, no problem. And man, I walked out of this pumped. I was happy. I had a good time. It is a perfect movie to take with your kid. My 13-year-old kid absolutely loved it. Logan gave it a 9 out of 10, but Logan also wanted to let you all know that he just doesn't throw out 10s for everybody. He's like his dad, you know, you got to earn a fucking 10. And excuse my language. But Logan loved it. Mrs. Nerdrotic's thought on it. She said Jason Momoa. It was pretty. Jason Momoa. So I think this movie will be getting the mom audience big time. I think they really cornered the market on moms this weekend. And that's a good thing. There was thunderous applause at the end of the film in San Francisco. Now, you might think, big deal. San Franciscans don't clap for jack squat. Okay. They just don't. And the fact that they did that was amazing. There is post-credit scenes. I didn't say for the very last one, so if there is a very ending one, I have no idea what it was. There is a mid-credit scene I'm not going to tell you what it was. They threw a lot at you. James Wan is kind of a genius as far as visually. So the good, James Wan. James Wan's directing was, like I said, hyperkinetic. This thing is moving all the time. It does not F around with, like it sets up the story and goes and realizes it's a comic book movie. So we're not like reinventing the wheel. And what they did right with this, what Jeff Johns, the screenwriter, did right is they went back to basics. They went, what makes us DC Comics? What makes us good? And they did everything in that, and they were unapologetic, straight up. Ocean Master looks like Ocean Master, and Black Manta looks like Black Manta, and Jason Momoa at some point, and you've seen it in the scenes, is wearing the Aquaman costume. Mira is not as bad and cringy as I thought she would be. She was actually, Amber Heard was pretty good as Mira, kind of charming. She wasn't this like what we've been getting so much in film right now, especially when males are writing female characters. They're just these perfect things. She's not. She's Nicole Kidman was pretty good. Like, she took her role seriously. Seeing Dolph Lundgren and Willem Dafoe together on screen was awesome. Was absolutely awesome. Is there some cheesiness to it? Absolutely. It's some of the worst dialogue I've ever heard in a film, to be honest with you. But it really goes with Melissa and I were predicting dialogue, and sorry if this is spoilers, but there's one scene where and I'm paraphrasing here, they talk to Aquaman. They're all, well, I think they've had it in the trailer, and it's something to the effect of, what can be greater than a king? And then Melissa just goes, a hero. And then and then Amber Heard goes, a hero. And she didn't see any of the trailers or anything. So it's stuff like that. And there's really, as far as plot goes, it is a superhero plot. It is Aquaman needs to stop some bad stuff from happening. Aquaman is a reluctant hero at first, and then Aquaman stops some stuff from happening, does some badass shit. He only says badass once in the movie. Sorry if that's a spoiler. That which I'm very thankful for. Have you seen all the movie? If you watched all the trailers, you might have felt like you've seen all the movies. I haven't seen all the trailers, so I don't know. The CGI is definitely dodgy at some times, but considering the amount of CGI, and at least it's pretty. Like, this is a pretty movie. Like, the tech in it is pretty. It's got vibrant colors. The color palette of this film is awesome. I love it. It's so comic book. Everything pops. And they go balls out in this movie. They dial it up to 15 as far as comic book and creatures and battles, and so if you like that kind of stuff, it's straight up popcorn fun movie, and it's fun. So there's no political BS in it, not a hint of it. And it was a good time. It was a good time. Is it reinventing the wheel? No, but it's what DC needed, in my opinion. I don't know. I saw the critic score at 68%. That seems about right. I figure some critics would just loathe this kind of movie. But I was surprised to see that some liked it, and I was happy to see that. DC needed a win. I think it got one. It did well overseas. I don't know how well it's going to do. I mean, Bumblebee's coming out the same weekend, and I'm going to go see that in the next couple days. But I was happy for DC to get a win. As far as comparing it to Wonder Woman, I would say I enjoyed this more. I would watch this again before I would watch Wonder Woman again. Now, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot is a better representation of the character from the comics than Jason Momoa is, because he's kind of it's a very Peter David. If you read Peter David, his run, it's very much like that in that tone, but he's still kind of Lobo Aquaman a little bit. But it's basically just Jason Momoa playing Aquaman, and he's charming enough. And there's some comedy that doesn't land very well, and then there's stuff that's pretty funny. It's got a good sense of humor. It is not dark at all. Like, there's death in it and stuff, but it is not the Snyderverse is long gone. It doesn't feel anything like it. So I'll get to the chat. I'm gonna say what else? What was the bad part about? Yeah, the only bad part was cheesy dialogue, like extremely cheesy dialogue. Oh, and a good dad. There's a good dad in it, so I've got to point that out. Every time Hollywood does portrays a good father, I'm gonna pat them on the back. And man, they did a good dad. So Jango Fett was a good dad. Um, I thought it was well done. Uh, I would say out of 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it I'm going to be extra nice and give it a 7.5 to 8. Okay. 7.5 to 8. Probably, DC is lowered my expectations so much. I got to factor that in, Matt Guy. So some people are going to hate this. Some people are going to walk out just freaking hating it, and that's okay. That's fine. But I'm a comic book fan. I'm a superhero fan, and this is kind of what they are. So that's what I'll say. If you've never read a comic book, this is pretty close to what a comic book is, and I mean like an 80s, 90s comic book. Not some of the stuff we're coming out today, and that's not for everybody. That's why comic books don't sell that well anymore and stuff. But they really, it was a 7. I'd say 7.5. I'm gonna go lean closer to 8 than 7. Alexander. Yeah, because I had so much fun. And listen, it's not made for a 50-year-old guy. It's made for 13 to 20-year-olds maybe. And my 13-year-old loved it, gave it a 9 out of 10. So I think that's actually a more important score than what my score is. I think that's what DC and Warner Brothers would rather hear, what the kids think than what the 50-year-old guys think. Good riddance to the Snyderverse. Yes, it is long gone, even though they were named as producers on this film. I think that's all they had to do with it. But DC embracing, hey, they mentioned Justice League, they mentioned Steppenwolf. It's just in brief. That's it. They acknowledged that it happened, and then it goes on their own adventure, and you find out what happens. It's meaningless to the plot. Believe me, that's why I just told you it's totally meaningless. It's a passing thing. And Black Manta was good. Was good. It's hard to do a character like that, okay? But they set him up, I thought, pretty well. I'm sorry, I don't know the actor's name, but he took his role seriously, and the costume looks freaking like Black Manta, like perfect. And I was utterly shocked when they went full on Ocean Master. I was like, damn, okay. Yeah. So it's good. It's got a little heart to it, and yeah, let's. I don't know if any of you out there saw it. Tickerman Blade says Bumblebee was good. I can't wait to see Bumblebee. I'm looking forward to it. A good superhero movie has to have a little cheese. Mr. Twisted 72, I could not agree with you more. High five on that one, man. Straight up. Fuck, give me some cheese. Cheese is good. Okay, I like it on pizza. My wife is from Wisconsin. They love their cheese over there. Love it. Yeah, no guy from Red Bank. Yeah, zero times up. Me too. Political, nothing. Absolutely nothing. It is a movie. Wow, I know, right? A movie that doesn't feel like it needs to preach at you or anything. It's just now there are moments that feel like a parody. You know what I mean? There's just there's just real cheesy money shots with Jason Momoa that's straight up like, this one's aimed for you, ladies, with his abs and everything, and that's fine. I got no problem with that. None at all. So what's up? What's up, everybody? Right? Yes, they're riding seahorses. I mean, there's cheese. They're riding freaking giant seahorses and sharks. He talks to fishes. But there's also like some cool stuff. There's really some cool stuff. There you go. Yeah, my kid can be a tough critic. He really can. My kid's not my kid's not going to get just, hooked in that easy. You got to win them over. Aquaman is rated lower than Wonder Woman on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll be interested to see what the audience score is. I don't care what critics think. Listen, Wonder Woman was good. Wonder Woman was good. It was still a little too dark and tone, and that third act lost me. If up to the third act, I was loving Wonder Woman. I thought it had a lot of good action and it was well done, and Gal Gadot was great. And she's a very lovely lady, and I'm sure she's a very nice person and smart. That's more important. Um, okay, that's Yaya. I cannot pronounce his last name. Played Black Manta. He did a good job. Like thumbs up to him. Okay. Do you think the DC and WB will develop an ultimate turn? I can't read. God, the chat is too far away from me. Do I think they will develop? I don't know. They are going to develop. And we got to see how Shazam does. I think that's very important to see how Shazam does. But if I'd say two of the next three films are hits, then I think the DCEU is saved. I think they're just going to retool it. Maybe they'll change out Batman, but I think they might keep Superman. That's what Jason Momoa is hinting at, and we'll get. What I'm worried about is just the Harley Quinn movie. I mean, I like or not Harley. The Harley Quinn movie. I'm a little worried about that stuff, but it could be good too. Because it looks like they're going back down that rated R route, kind of what Titans is doing right now. And I want them to go the Aquaman, Wonder Woman. They really need to like double down on that stuff because that's the good. I did see the Hellboy trailer, so I saw it on my phone, Hound 3000, and I thought it was okay. And then I watched it on a big screen, and I'm not so sure now. I thought it reminded me of a Black Panther 2.0 story, but I loved it a little bit. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to spoil anything. It's different. It's different. Really dug Wonder Woman and totally love Gal Gadot. Yeah, there's no Gal Gadot is a great representation of the comic book Wonder Woman. Absolutely well done. Shazam has to be good. Imagine if DC pulls off, like we're talking about, we got a decent Aquaman movie. Did anybody even 10 years ago think that would happen at all? Like the fact that I'm like reporting that there's a decent Aquaman movie out. I mean, wow. James Wan has to be considered kind of a genius at this point. And it's not like I was a huge fan. I mean, he's an okay. I thought he was an okay director. I'm not a giant fan of his, but I think he's right for superhero movies. I think he is. I think he found like his niche for sure. Aquaman. I don't know if Aquaman works as dark. Wonder Woman can. It depends on what your definition of dark is, David. Batman definitely does, for sure. Batman needs to be dark, and Harley Quinn needs to be dark. Filthy Farmer. I'm gonna wrap this thing up too. I just wanted to do a quick review as opposed to doing just a. So I liked it. I liked it. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's great. I'm not going to say it's the greatest thing ever made. I'm not going to say it's the greatest superhero movie ever made. People might want to argue between what's better, Wonder Woman or Aquaman. I'm just going to say, I don't know what. Maybe no, I don't know. I'd probably see Aquaman again, just because there's so much eye candy in it. It's eye candy. It's totally, you feel like you go for a ride. I saw it in 3D, and again, as always, I forget it's 3D within 10 minutes. 3D doesn't really process in my bad eyes very well. So, I mean, the glasses basically just straighten everything up for me, and then it looks two-dimensional to me. So, I don't know. I'm just a bad person to ask about 3D. You know what? It's a good time. It's a good time. Go with some friends. If you got kids, definitely take your kid. You're great. 7 and up is fine, and you'll have a good time. You'll have a good time. And we got this I got my Aquaman pin. I was very happy I got that. And so Alice Wong, what's up? Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was so much better. I like Spider-Verse. I did. I did. I'm not going to say I didn't like that. But we needed a DC needed a win, and it got it. It's not perfect. I would rank many comic book movies above it. But as far as people comparing it to Guardians, no, I wouldn't go that far. That's not very good. Okay, guys. Everybody, have a good night. I'm actually currently working. I'm going to go right back to editing right now. So I'm going to be going back to editing my 2 Doctor Who videos. One of them is the Christmas one, and you're getting that one tomorrow night. And yeah, that's about it. So please like, share, and subscribe. Nerdrotic.com is where you can find our live stream schedule. Of course, I'll be covering Titans on Friday. Like I said, 2 Doctor Who videos coming out on Thursday if you're watching this live, and all kinds of stuff coming out over the holidays for the weekend. So thank you very much. Thank you to the patrons, and of course, thank you everybody who joined me in the chat and kept me company here. I really appreciate it. It's good seeing you. And I will see you. Good night, everybody, and we will see you soon. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Cheers. Go talk to the fish.